K98talk.com, a leader in internet radio. So grab your seatbelts and take the ride of your life on K98talk.com.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, I am your host, Daniel Stafford, and you are listening to The Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. And tonight, while we're going to talk about quite a few things, I want you to know there are many ways to listen. So set this channel as a favorite, whatever you have to do, so you don't get left behind. Look, if for some strange crazy reason you do miss the show, you can catch the replay. So just sit tight. There is no need to panic because, yes, I've got you. And in the case you aren't already following over on social media, you can find me on the Twitters at Stafford Voice. Or you can look me up on Facebook. All you got to do is just search for The Stafford Voice. While you're out there in the interwebs, all you have to do is make sure you follow all my good friends over at the Polititainment group. You need to find artist Angie, Politabunny, aka Sam. You got Pointless Pole or Zol or whatever the hell Clay is going by these days. And you cannot forget Mr. Funnyman, Mr. Funny Pants, Jason of According to Me, one of the half of the dynamic duo of According to Me and Bunny every Wednesday. Be sure to give some love to the station and all of our affiliates, and stay up to date with everything at polititainment.net and thestaffordvoice.com. And since you're already going to be there, could you please do me a favor? Look, I would love if you would do this for me. It is super easy. It is literally going to take less than 5 minutes of your life. It is 5 questions, and again, it's 5 questions, less than 5 minutes. Go over to thestaffordvoice.com at the top of the page, look for Uncle Sam, click on it, and it's going to take you over to a short survey that you can answer a couple of questions about the show. What you like, what you don't like, how long you listen, and you can even give me a little bit of hate mail. And look, I want you to know, as we're getting started, we couldn't do what we do without your help. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is being listener funded. I understand that the last thing you want to do is listen to 10 or 15 minutes of ads and get a couple of minutes of talk. You join the show, you want to listen. And I don't blame you. The last thing I want to do is go out and chase sponsors. But we've teamed up with Amazon, and it's really, really easy. Wherever you're... I don't know about you. Seriously, I do a lot of shopping. Yes, I'm a guy, and I like to shop. One way you can help is to... When you're over at polititainment.net, because I know you're trying to keep up with everything that's coming out. Since you're over there and you want to check your cart over on Amazon, just click the little banner. Click one of the Amazon banner ads, and it's going to redirect you, and anything that you buy over on Amazon, a small portion goes to help fund the show and fund all your other favorite shows with the Polititainment group as well. And like I said at the start, we've got quite a bit of stuff to talk about. And I don't know about you, but I got up this morning, and yes, I know, I got up. And, well, I was pretty worried because last night was the super duper blood orange moon or whatever the heck it is. The super blood moon me now or whatever. I don't know. So this moon thing last night, the moon came out and the sun came up this morning. I went to bed fully expecting that if I was to wake up, I was going to be one of maybe 100 people that didn't make the rapture. I thought it was going to be the end of the world as we knew it. It's the end of... Okay, I don't want to scare you guys off with my singing because it's really bad. But I was worried that the rapture had came and gone and totally forgot about me and I was going to be here and... Whew! I'm so glad I'm not alone because my wife was there. I jumped over on Facebook and I looked and I saw activity from a bunch of friends and family and, well, okay, maybe some of those friends and families I could have gotten rid of, but the point being is, are we in some sort of Twilight Zone? Because this is completely weird, and seriously, I'm not afraid to look around and, try and go digging for the real story. I really genuinely thought that this blood moon was going to be it. ISIS was going to be wiped away. And the only people that were going to be here are the good guys. Or maybe vice versa, whichever. And, I would be gone and I would be completely disappointed with my whole entire life, which I'm not. But I was genuinely concerned. Not so much. What I really was concerned about was when I started checking the news and realized that, oh, yes, John Boehner did, in fact, say that he was done. Yes, that's right. John Boehner is done. The angry orange, the crying orange, whatever you want to call him. He's finally going to hang it up, and here in the next 30 days, we can kiss his ass goodbye. And then I realized that Mars may have water on it. How flippin' exciting is that? Seriously, I mean, we can pack up all these Boehnerites and all these trumpets and all these rubies and all of the bushes. We can send them up to Mars with a busload of liberals and they can just go on a 3-hour tour and, well, we're not going to go looking for them. We'll just forget about them. Because if this isn't the closest thing we can do or get to the Twilight Zone, I'm completely lost. Because now we've got a presidential candidate that I may actually have to start getting behind. I know it breaks my heart to have to say that, but seriously, did you read Trump's tax plan? Okay, well, we're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to get to Trump in just a minute, okay? I want to kind of set the tone real quick with a quote that I stumbled upon over the weekend. It was from John Trenchard back in 1721, and he was talking about the real nature of party politics, if you will. He said, quote, "A very great authority has told us that 'tis worth no man's time to serve a party unless he can now and then get good jobs by it. This, I can safely say, has been the constant principle and practice of every leading patriot. Ever since I have been capable of observing public transactions, the premium mobile, the alpha and omega of all of their actions, they all profess to have in view only the public good. Yet everyone shewed he only meant his own. And all the while, the great as well as the little mob, the Procerum Turbomobilium, contended as fiercely for their leaders as if their happiness or misery depended upon the face, the clothes, or title of the persons who robbed and betrayed them. So, look, here we've got a very accomplished businessman. You can say what you want, and I'll kick your ass if you say that he went bankrupt like 4 or 5 times, or 9 or 10, or however many he's... Look, Trump is a good man. I don't want to be the bad guy here. Look, he's a great man. I've got a lot of good things to say about Trump. I don't want to talk about how he ran his companies into the ground and used the laws in his favor, and I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about how good Trump is. That was me blowing my trumpet horn. Look, today, Trump released his tax plan. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, now Trump is the tax man. Oh, I mean, this guy, look, if you haven't gone out and checked out how awesome his Trump plan is, you are not winning. Winning. Look, winning, yes. Trump's plan falls flat. I'm going to level with you. Just like Trump did when he got up and gave another ass clown speech that probably lasted 5 or 6 hours of him kissing his own ass. He said that it was going to cost him a fortune. He also said it's going to eliminate loopholes. Rich people are going to pay more, and poor people, they're not even going to pay. Okay, so what exactly does his tax reform say? Okay, so he's got 4 simple goals. Number 1, tax relief for middle-class Americans. Number 2, simplify the tax code. Okay, yeah. How many other millions of other patriot, freedom-fighting, American, bacon-eating people out there have been screaming to simplify the damn tax code? Oh, well, we need to grow the American economy. Duh! No crap, Sherlock. And number 4, we've got to make sure that it doesn't add to our debt and deficit, which are really too large. You know, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Trump Humper, the great Trump Humper in chief, Donald Trump, he toots his own frickin' trumpet. I'd really like to take that trumpet and shove it up his ass. And every time he farts, it goes... Because that's all he's doing is blowing smoke out of his own ass. So how is he going to do it? Okay, well, here's one of the things that he says. And I don't want to spend too much time on this jackass. $25,000 is the cutoff for single people. $50,000 if you're married. And get this. Those people, if you fall under that category, $25,000 cutoff for singles, $50,000 joint married and jointly filing at $50,000. Your simplified tax form, get this, 1 page long. Woo! Yay! Look. And to be quite honest, this really could fit on a note card. You wouldn't even really have to put a stamp on it. Because all it's going to say is, I win. Oh, again. Winning, yes. Oh, seriously. The Trump Humper's tax reform You know what? I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's so stupid. Seriously. Anybody with common flippin' sense is going to look at this and say, oh, that's completely stupid. But then you get all the leftist whack jobs over there, you got all these leftist whack jobs over here that have been tooting the horn, who've been blowing the trumpet, screaming for $15 an hour. You know what? If they were getting paid $15 an hour, they're going to get taxed under this plan. Because if you sit and you do the damn math, which is pretty flippin' easy, you take a damn calculator, because I know Common Core, you need like 19 different sets of abacuses to figure out how to do it. One simple damn calculation. $25,000. Divide it by 52 weeks. You know what you come out with? You've come out with a number that you can divide by 40 hours a week. You know what that comes out to? A little over $12 an hour. 12 flippin' dollars. The majority of Americans make more than that. Oh, but we're the old gray-haired media. We're gonna stick it to them. That's all we're gonna talk about. This is awesome. Oh my God, the people aren't gonna pay any flippin' taxes. Oh my God. Dumbasses. Look. John Boehner's finally gone, so you know what?
Here's Johnny!
That's right. Here's Johnny! Boehner's finally gone. Finally done, and we can begin the purge process of the Republican establishment. Why? Well, look, I could have saved this one for later in the show. Because this guy is completely stuck on stupid. And if for 1 second you honestly think, John Boehner woke up one morning, got down on his knees, and prayed all of his praises in the hallelujahs. If you genuinely think that happened, that he received an answer to a prayer that said, you're done, you've gone batcrap crazy. Because you really want to know who the real viable candidate is, and who scares the crap out of Washington, is when party establishment freak jobs like Captain Crazy Orange here. Look, just listen to him say it himself.
Are they unrealistic about what can be done in government? That's the dysfunction.
Absolutely, they're unrealistic. But the Bible says, beware of false prophets. And there are people out there, spreading noise about how much can get done. I mean, this whole idea that we're going to shut down the government to get rid of Obamacare in 2013, this plan never had a chance. But over the course of the August recess in 2013 and the course of September, a lot of my Republican colleagues who knew it was a fool's errand, really, they were getting all this pressure from home to do this. And so we got groups here in town, members of the House and Senate here in town, who whip people into a frenzy believing they can accomplish things that they know are never going to happen. It's just... But listen, I've had 25 great years here in Washington. I've had great staff. I've had great colleagues, and I'm very thankful to my family and to my constituents for giving me the honor to do this.
Is Ted Cruz a false prophet?
Listen, you can pick a lot of names out. I'll let you choose them.
You don't debate that assertion?
I'll refer you to my remark at a fundraiser I made in August in Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
And if you don't remember what his remark was about Ted Cruz in Colorado that he was referring to, that was the one where Captain Crazy Orange, Boehner, decided he was going to refer to Ted Cruz as a jackass. Look, Washington is freaked the hell out by people like Ted Cruz. They're really scared. Because he knows what he's talking about. And he can put an end to... He has the potential to put an end to the train wreck. Look, the trade deal just came out today that John Boehner made like $5 million off of it. So he was paid to vote for the trade deal? $5 million? Man. Imagine how many veterans we could have helped with $5 million. Imagine how many homeless people we could have fed or clothed or put up for the night for $5 million. Wow. But don't worry, John Boehner is a multi-millionaire, and he does it off just a couple $100,000 a year. I don't get it. But I'm sure he's a great guy. You know, Trump would say he's a great guy. He doesn't want to talk about those failures. Trump's a great guy, his hair's real, and he came out with a kick-ass tax plan. You know what really is awesome? And this is totally not even related to it, but our friend out there, Cranky, as many of you know him, has started a crowdfunding site. Now, before we go to break, I want to talk to you for just a second about this. And I know, crowdfunding, whatever. Just what we need, another one, right? But in reality, yes. Look, everywhere you turn these days, someone out there is crying the PC game, the politically correct. You just want to throat stomp them. But what if I told you there was a place that didn't play that PC game, that was trustworthy, yet, you know, they still held true to conservative and libertarian ideals that you and I share? You know what I'm talking about here, a company that reflects constitutional values. And they won't cave in and cancel your campaign because someone got butthurt and got offended. Look, this is a company that believes in you so much they're willing to put a little of their own money where your mouth is. And for the first 10 signups who reach $100 in contributions, they'll put in $10 to help you succeed and reach your goals. It's not too good to be true. Head on over to rwnjfunding.com. Again, that's rwnjfunding.com and start your campaign today to make your dreams come true. Now, we're going to take a break. I'm going to munch on some cookies, get my head right, because the fog here in the Twilight Zone is kind of creeping me the heck out. So when we come back, we're going to what are we going to talk about? You know, let's talk about the Taliban. I know, you're probably bored stiff about the Taliban, but something happened today, and I think you need to know about it. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the Taliban real quick.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear Barack Obama's speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, and on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern and 11 Central here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Red Nation Rising brings you Town Hall Radio.
From a single tweet to 3 million a month, our community is a force to be reckoned with on social media.
So don't miss our show, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on K98 Talk.
Our chat room is our co-host, and you ask the question.
Join us and be heard.
So get ready to sound off on Red Nation Rising Radio. No one else is going to do it for you.
There's a wild, wild whisper blowing.
I don't know about you, but I'm not the type of guy that jumps into anything without first doing my research. And when I was looking for a holster, I'll admit I was having one heck of a time. You know what I'm talking about here. You find one you like, you try it on, it would be clunky. Another one fits good, but costs way too much. So you try on one last holster, it was slim, lightweight, priced right, but lo and behold, you slide your pistol in, and it falls right out. So what do? You've tried all these mass market holsters. Well, go custom. I know what you're thinking. I thought it too. Too pricey. Wrong. My guy over at Rebel Road Tactical will not only put together the perfect fitting, hand-molded, hand-assembled, custom Kydex holster, but you'll get it at an affordable price. Don't wait. Contact Rebel Road Tactical today at 682-217-4579. Again, that's 682-217-4579. Place your order.
It's the dramatic reinvention of Talk Radio.
Here come the spy dolphins.
The only thing that can cure racism is Robert E. Lee's penis.
Who named this cat Limberbutt McCubbin? A Trump-Biden debate.
Plugs versus rugs. Real serious nonsense. A show so bad you'll laugh at us.
The worst podcast. We obviously hold that title.
Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on K98 Talk.
Call now.
913-440-4889.
All right, we're back. I had to air out the studio here, let the cat in, and oh man, the fog was easy to get lost in. And by the way, that was a Tool reference for some of my music pals out there. Look, we've got a problem out there, and they're on the march. And to be quite honest, it may actually be a little too late to slow down their progress. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about groups like the Taliban, Islamic State. Radical Islam's on the march. They don't care who gets in their way. Today, the Taliban captured a pretty substantial province in Afghanistan, the Kunduz province. And this really should come as no surprise that we see stuff like this. But the assault took everyone by surprise once it started. I mean, within 12 hours of launching their offensive, they raised the Taliban flag. Everybody was caught off guard. And look, we've still got a handful of of our young men and women over there. And we really need a leader to step up and either pull the plug and admit we're done, or we go on the offensive, not with the help of Russia, not with the help of China, because they're in it for only one thing, and that's themselves. We've really got to do something about this. I mean, we've talked countless hours here on the show about trying to understand all of the different chess pieces, if you will. Sorry about that. I don't know if the TARDIS is trying to call us in and try and send us into outer space or what. But so one of the things that the Taliban did when they captured the Kunduz province is they broke into the main prison and they freed 600 or more prisoners, and included in there was roughly 140 Taliban fighters. The last thing that we need to do is allow this kind of stuff to happen, because it only emboldens the enemy and allows them to grow in numbers. And, you know, yeah, if you've joined us over in the chat room over at k98talk.com/chat-room, TARDIS is not a demeaning term, Paul. Okay? Look, it's bigger on the inside, okay? It's bigger on the inside. Speaking of which, you know what's really big on the inside? Bookstores. I love bookstores. There's just something about a fresh book that when you crack it open and you smell the fresh, untouched pages, over the weekend, if you didn't see it because you're a bum and you don't follow me on Instagram, look, that's okay, whatever. Because I'm a nice guy. Like Donald Trump, I'm a nice guy. I sent it over to Facebook and I sent it to Twitter to compare myself to Donald Trump. I feel like I need to ram my head into a brick wall or something. But I threw it out there that I wanted you guys to pick which book would be my next read. And I did. I took the advice that was given to me. I'm going to read the one by John Locke. Second treatise. I'm really excited. Actually, I cracked it open yesterday. I mean, just the smell of untouched pages, it's really exciting. You know, you can't get that when you have one of those digital readers. But let me tell you about this. When you're on the go and you really don't want to carry your book everywhere you go, what you can do is have a subscription to audible.com. It's really, really easy. You use your smartphone or your tablet, whatever, your iPhone, all of them have an app for Audible. You can be driving across town, cutting the grass, helping your wife clean and do laundry and mop and sweep and give the cat a bath and give the dog a bone. E-I-E. Okay, wait. I started to get into the nursery rhymes. Anyway, you can stay caught up on all of these great reads, even if you don't have time, because like me, you're probably always on the go. But when you like to read, you really want to read. So instead of leaving your book at home, go out, get a subscription to audible.com, and look, because you listen to this show and Real Serious Nonsense, and According to Me and Bunny, here's what we've lined up for you. We've lined up a free 30 days, no strings attached trial to audible.com. You're not going to get one book, you're going to get two. And since Audible is part of Amazon, and you know we've teamed up with them, there are so many different books you can get. I mean, there's hundreds and thousands of books to choose from, all, even the newest releases, okay? All you have to do is head over to audibletrial.com/polititainment. Or, since you're over at the Polititainment website, just click the Audible banner and it'll pretty much do everything for you. Now, when we come back from break, yeah, we're going to take a break. And I know it seems really weird to take a break so quick, but I got a special little surprise for you after we touch on this day in history. When we come back from a break, we're going to cover on this day in history and a quick little surprise I've got lined up for you. We'll be right back.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level, or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve, as they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
According to me and Bunny, this show's not big. It's huge!
Mr. Trump, what are your thoughts on how should we go about making sure we can protect innocent life in this country?
We're going to be looking at a lot of different things. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that, and a lot of people are saying that bad things are happening out there. We're going to be looking at that and plenty of other things.
Donald, question right over here. What are you going to do as president in regards to Common Core? What actions are you going to take?
We're going to be looking at a lot of different things. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that, and a lot of people are saying that bad things are happening out there. We're going to be looking at that and plenty of other things.
That is like he can say that for anything.
Yes! It's just insert issue. Donald, what are we going to do for lunch?
We're going to be looking at a lot of different things. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that, and a lot of people are saying that bad things are happening out there. We're going to be looking at that and plenty of other things.
It's According to Me and Bunny, Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
All right, we're back. I am your host, yes, Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice. Okay, on this day in history, well, what really happened? Well, it was probably the most important battle of the Revolutionary War. And General George Washington, he commanded a force of roughly 17,000 French and Continental troops against British General Lord Charles Cornwallis, who had only 9,000 British troops. So, knowing it was time to attack, Washington ordered Marquis de Lafayette and an army of 5,000 troops to block Cornwallis from being able to escape. Well, at the same time, the French naval fleet was blocking the British escape route by sea. Cornwallis was completely surrounded, and after about 3 weeks of non-stop bombardment, which was day and night, Cornwallis surrendered to Washington, which effectively ended the War for Independence. But it was on this day in history, in 1781, that the Battle for Yorktown began. And again, it was an extremely pivotal pivotal. Geez, I can't even talk. Look, it was an important thing that happened, and we really whooped them and scared them, and they gave up. That was a lot easier than trying to say pivotal. I did it! Woo! Okay. So, we're going to kind of sway from the norm, I guess. Not too far. I mean, we keep it within the confines of how we normally do things. And, well, I've got a special little surprise for you. But wait. That's right. It is time for Who Said That? I know it seems early, but here's the surprise. We've got 2 this week. 2 people completely stuck on stupid that I just felt it was necessary we talk about both of them. I really wanted to. I couldn't decide between the 2. So, I wanted to talk about both of them. Well, this first one, I probably would have never guessed that he would say something like this. But the more I got to thinking, I remembered a little bit of the history and of who he was. But okay, before we get started, I almost forgot. Look, for those of you out there who are listening for the first time, thank you. And I want you to know what Who Said That is. Who Said That is our final little segment of the evening. And we really try and highlight somebody from either the Republican Party, the Democrats, liberals, conservatives, media elites, whatever. It doesn't matter who you are. If you say something completely stupid, we're going to call you out on it. And this week, the special surprise is, yes, we've got 2 people completely stuck on stupid. I mean, the fog, the Twilight Zone fog was really thick for these 2 people over the weekend. But the first one, I really want you to hear. I mean, this is a confused individual. Check this out.
First, I want to talk about what's going on in this election cycle, and that is the most recent comments from Dr. Ben Carson. He has backpedaled a bit, basically saying he would accept a Muslim in the White House so long as that person rejected Sharia law. We know that Sharia law means, killing homosexuals. Women are subservient to men. Tell me about Sharia law. You converted to Islam how many years ago?
In 1967, a long time ago. But Islam does not okay the things that you just mentioned, killing people, rape, all of these things that have been associated now with Sharia law. That's crazy. None of the people that have that criticism of Sharia law have checked out the law, because it's not even for non-Muslims. Sharia law is for the ruling of an Islamic state. So Sharia law could never apply here in America, because America is a very diverse place. So they've got it all wrong. They don't know what the law states actually, and they want to distort it in order to make Muslims the villain. And there's enough real villainy going on without people inventing.
Okay, look. That was... yes, Slick. The guy's got his head sucked so far up as you know what. Oh, it's almost funny. But that was none other than, look, I'm not a sports guy. I remember that he was a basketball great. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar converted to Islam years and years ago, back in the 60s. But he's a little confused when it comes to Sharia law. I think he completely forgot about the little handheld manual that Islam put together. That little manual is called The Reliance of the Traveler, the Classic Manual of Islamic Sacred Law. Basically, this is a manual on the rough edges of Sharia law and how to conduct Sharia law. To say that Islam is peaceful and Sharia law is not for... It's only for those who are believers. Well, look. In the Quran, it says, and this is Surah 2:16, it says, fighting is prescribed for you. In Surah 4:89, it says, slay them wherever you find them. Now, we really haven't touched on Sharia law yet, but in Surah 9:36, it says, fight the idolaters utterly. So basically, fundamental to Islam is going out and killing you if you don't believe what they believe. We've touched on this before. Islam is their religion, and it's their government. It's their way of government. And part of their way of government is Sharia law. Look, here's what CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations, says. It says, quote, in a broad sense, Sharia law is the code of conduct or religious law of Islam. It's a wide-ranging system that encompasses crime, politics, economic, and personal matters such as sexuality, diet, hygiene, prayer, and fasting. It goes on to say, there is no one document that outlines a universally agreed-upon use of Sharia. It leads to many different interpretations. They can't even actually define what Sharia law is. So how in the hell is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar... Look, I would respect him as a basketball player, but obviously whatever he was taught about Islam when he converted was a really perverted system. If he honestly and truly thinks that Islam is a religion of peace, which has been debunked hundreds of times, that Sharia law is okay, it's not that bad, it doesn't... Forget about the fact that if a woman goes out and gets raped, that she has to find four to stand up for her and say that she was raped. Otherwise, if she can't, then they can bury her up to her chest and they can throw rocks at her. Not really big ones that would crush her skull. Just big enough that it would kind of cause hard injuries. Never mind. Look, that's Sharia, but that's not Sharia. Okay? Congratulations, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You are completely stuck on stupid. Somebody else that's completely stuck on stupid, look, this person really does not need an introduction. Really does not need an introduction. I mean, this dame is bad. And this week is... I almost can't even come up with the energy to say what I want to say. So I'm just going to let you guys hear it and you guys decide.
There's an allegation about your email server. The campaign provides an explanation. You provide an explanation. There's a new allegation. You have to provide a new explanation. There's an addendum to that explanation. It has the feel of a drip, drip, drip. Can you reassure Democrats that there's nothing else here?
Well, it is like a drip, 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 and that's why I said there's only so much that I can control. But what I have tried to do in explaining this is to provide more transparency and more information than anybody that I'm aware of who's ever served in the government, and I'm happy to do that because I want these questions to be answered. I can't predict to you what the Republicans will come up with, what kind of, charges or claims they might make. I have no control over that. I can only do the best I can to try to respond. The Justice Department has the emails. They have the server. They're conducting a security inquiry. They will take whatever necessary steps are required to get this matter resolved.
Oh, seriously. You don't even need to be introduced to who the hell that was. That was none other than Precious, my precious Hillary Clinton. Talking about transparency. Now, I thought this was going to be about her contracting some form of unrelated syphilis because of good old BJ, Billy Boy. Because the host was asking her about the drip, 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 and holy crap. I thought it was going to be something sexual in nature almost. Glad that she completely saved it and started talking about how awesome her transparency is. Because we all know we all know how transparent Hillary Clinton is. How the Republicans are trying to drum up something bad about her. Look, Republicans don't have to search for anything. You're doing it to yourself. You want to claim that you are you're going to be the most transparent person in all of Washington. Yet you, Mrs. Clinton, ordered your very own private server to be hosted in your apartment. And, I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people who are blatantly dead broke who can afford their own private servers. But I digress. Being transparent, having your own server. This dame is completely stuck on stupid. I mean, do we really even have to continue with her? It's just fun to make fun of her all the time. She's doing it to herself. I mean, just over the week, I really fought with whether to use this one. But there was one, I saw one with her and the he, she, I don't even remember what the hell her name was, where she asked her about a concert and how his leather pants had split and his junk fell out of Lenny Kravitz, Lena Dunham. That's who it was, Lena Dunham. She thought that she was going to... Hillary Clinton is on this rampage. She's out there trying to look young and hip, and she's hip. She's with it. Oh. Holy cow. Okay. Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day. Okay, so Hillary Clinton's being interviewed in a quote-unquote fashion that by Lena Dunham. Hillary Clinton thinks that she's being interviewed by Lenny Kravitz. And so Lena Dunham says, "Oh, did you hear about his concert? About how his pants split open and his junk, his penis falls out of his pants? Did you see that?" You know what Hillary Clinton's response was? Her response was, "Oh, can I go on? Is that on the YouTube?" You just want to reach through your computer and slap the crap out of her. But I mean, look, if you are not staying on top of things, and not staying educated and going out and educating those around you. Sadly, she could be the next president of the United States. Someone who thinks it's okay to talk about a man's penis falling out of his pants and how you can go on YouTube is honestly not presidential material. It's just sad. Really, really sad. Oh, you know what I forgot to play for you guys? Oh man, I'm so sorry. I almost forgot. You know what? This is how we're going to end the night. Oh man, I'm so sorry. You know what? We're going to play it right now.
I don't like lies. If you did a bad story on me, if it were a fair story, I wouldn't be thin-skinned at all. And frankly, I don't call it thin-skinned. I'm angry. Oh, I think I can take it. I can take it if it's fair. I will fight. I don't like lying. You know, I'm a very honorable guy. I don't like lies.
What I think is we need to have someone who's a serious person, someone who is serious about the future of our country, someone who understands the challenges we face. This election is not about any of us individually. It's about the United States of America. When the debate turned to policy, he stood silent for 23 minutes, and that's why he had such a bad debate. That's why he's now reacting the way he is and continuing to offend anyone who criticizes him. He's very thin-skinned, obviously. He's very sensitive to criticism.
I mean, you know, like you have this clown, Marco Rubio. I've been so nice to him.
And if the Ayatollah doesn't understand that, we may have to help introduce him to his 72 virgins.
And there is such a thing as the American way. You know what? They don't even care if you agree with them as long as you shut your mouths and sit down. I think it's time for us to stop shutting our mouths and sitting down. One nation under God. The people would wake up and they would once again take control. I say now is the time to wake up and take control.
You know, in a few months, we may see the first presidential debate held at Leavenworth. All across this country, the American people are waking up. And I'll tell you today, help is on the way. Washington wants us divided. Washington wants conservatives splintered. They want a chunk of evangelicals over here, a chunk of conservatives over here, a chunk of libertarians over here, a chunk of Tea Party folks over here. That's how, if we are splintered, that a moderate establishment candidate runs up the middle with 23% of the vote, steals the nomination, and then loses to Hillary Clinton in the general election. You know what? We've seen that movie before. We have a simple task before us. If conservatives unite, we win. So I'm here to ask each and every one of you, stand. Stand in your faith. Stand with your principles. Come together. How do we turn this country around? Just like in 1980, we rise up as we, the people, and we say we will defend this last best hope for mankind. This shining city on a hill that is the United States of America.
Wow, I'm so sorry. I almost forgot to play that. I'm so glad that I remembered here at the last minute. But that was our campaign roundup. That was, in basic sense, that was the week dialed down. I mean, that was hours of audio dialed down into 2 to 2.5 minutes of really getting to know the candidates. I mean, we've got one guy out there who calls another guy a clown, and we've got another guy that's over here actually explaining how things are hurting you and how we need to stand up and fight for liberty and remain a free nation and not succumb to socialist ideals. And anyway, whew. I like Cruz's little dig in there about Ted Cruz. That was really subtle and awesome at the same time. But judging by the time, that's all we've got for this week. God willing, I, Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice, will be back next week. You can follow me over on the Twitters at Stafford Voice. Look me up on Facebook by looking for The Stafford Voice. Email any of your questions, comments, love mail, hate mail. I'll answer all of them to thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Again, that is thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm serious from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And until next week, thanks and God bless.